Okay, Algebra 2, we're reviewing for our quiz that is tomorrow on radicals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through our review packet and just do the problems. So the first set of problems says solve each equation using the radical method. So these are relatively easy. I just have to get the x squared by itself. So 4x squared equals 28 divided by 4 divided by 4, x squared equals 7. And radical plus or minus from my radical, so x is equal to, and typically, guys, we're going to ask you to write your answer rounded to the 100th. It's going to be very rare that we're going to say leave your answer in simplest radical form. So if we don't say anything, assume it's to the 100th. Over here, same idea. Subtract 30. Divide by -3. Then I'm going to take the square root. Now this is a place where some of you get a little tricked up. Okay, I'm going to write two equations. X plus 2 equals 3.46 and x plus 2 equals -3.46. And the reason I'm going to write two different equations is because if you just write positive or negative 2.46, some of you are getting some very unique answers, okay? The answers are going to be very different from each other, and I'm only going to get those very different answers if I write the equation two different ways. Okay, now we're factoring, so I have to use Billy's method here. So -12 and +1, I'm dividing those by 4x, and 4x, reducing to -3 over x, so then x minus 3, and 4x plus 1 equals 0. And then some of you are forgetting this last step. We're solving, okay? So we have to figure out what x is equal to. Some of you are forgetting to do that. So make sure that if you're forgetting how to do that in your head, you're writing the equation setting it equal to 0. Okay? By the way, I'm doing these problems fairly quickly, so if I'm moving too fast for you, just pause the video. Okay? I'm just trying to get these answers done so that you have something to look back at and make sure that you have all the right answers here. So now we're using the quadratic formula. You must have this memorized tomorrow. One of the questions on your quiz is going to be to write down the quadratic formula, so please make sure that you have that tomorrow. A is 2, B is -5, C is 10. Remember, I keep asking you to find the discriminant first, so -5 squared minus 4 times 2 times 10, using my calculator. I'm getting -55. Oh, it's a negative value, NRS. Remember, guys, it's going to be very unlikely that we're going to ask you to write answers as non-real. So if we don't say that, make sure a negative under a radical is NRS. Okay? Now, you also need to remember that for the quadratic formula for factoring, we always have to make one side equal 0. So A is 4, B is -7, C is -2. So I'm going to start with my discriminant. So I get 81. So now I have 7 plus or minus the square root of 81 all over 4. Okay. Oh, all over 8. So then using my calculator, I'm just going to type 7 plus the square root of 81 divided by 8. So there's 2. 7 minus the square root of 81 divided by 8. So there's my second answer, -0.25. Okay? And there's the first page of your packet.